Hey, today we're going to try to figure out how to determine where a stitch error is inside of your model. I've imported this model and I'm going to try to stitch it, and you'll see that an error comes up that says stitch operation failure. So in order to figure this out, what we're going to want to do is break this up into smaller pieces. So first, let's try copying this fume pack area with that model into its own piece. Make sure to choose the paste new option. You'll know if you haven't if there's just a :2 like mine has. If it's in the parenthesis 2, you've done it right, so we can delete that component later and go back to the original. So now that we are using the new copy just to test on, what we're going to do is we're going to create a sketch on a flat layer, and then we're going to add a box. And so we're going to want to split this up. We see we have complex geometry on the bottom here, and we have some more complex geometry at the top. So let's split those two areas first. You want to do it in the least complex area where you're drawing this box. We're going to do a perimeter of 2, so we give ourselves 2 millimeters of area in order to delete those faces out of. So now we're going to do a split face, and then we're going to select the entire object, and then we're going to choose our splitting tool. We'll start from the outside line and split it. And then make sure to go and turn that sketch back on so you can do that other line. And then go ahead and do a split face again. Select the entire object again. Choose your splitting tool at the inside line. And now we should have an area in which we can delete from. So next we're just going to zoom in on the object, but make sure to look at that number, right? 1021 faces right now that this surface mesh is, and so as we're deleting it, the number will go down, and once we've disconnected the two sides, they'll split into 2 groups, and so that's what we're looking for to start with. As you're working your way around here, you can middle click at any point and it'll create the area for you to rotate on. And so if you middle click and then you hold shift and middle click again, you can then orbit around it right where you're looking. Now that we've got a gap here, we can see that we have 2 body groups now, 2 surface groups. And so we could create patches, but it's unnecessary. We're trying to just find the problem. So now let's try to stitch this bottom section and see what happens. Look, there's a couple areas in there that can be stitched, so this is not the problem area. So let's go ahead and try to look at that top section and see if we try to stitch that one, if you still run into that error. And there's the error, so we need to keep looking. It's somewhere in this top section now. So what we're going to do now is we are going to do this, repeat the same steps, and we're going to split that top section. So let's create another sketch. And then let's draw a box around that complex geometry in the center where that hole is. And let's try to make it, once again, we're in a spot where it's less faces for us to delete. So I want to choose in between some of these ribbing that's on this piece. Let's go ahead and create another 2 millimeter edge. And let's go ahead and delete the faces from here. All right, now that we have those 2 body groups split up again, let's go ahead and try a stitch feature again. Let's click on the left side, and the left side looks okay. We've got a few more spots that we have to stitch, but it's stitching. So let's check that right side out, and we have the error. All right, so we know the stitch is somewhere in that right side. And you know what? I just spotted something. You can see that the chamfer up there looks fine, but the one up here, oh, did you see it? The little half moon piece just popped up where I moused over it. Let's go and see if we can use the section analysis to see if we can figure out where that is. So let's click on the edge. Let's drag it back so we can get into where that little spot was. A little bit further. It looks good. Oh, we see it in there. What is that? So let's zoom in and let's try deleting that. Let's just delete that. It doesn't know how to mess with that. So now we can go ahead and turn off our section analysis. And then let's try stitching this piece again. Let's see what happens. There it is. We can stitch. So we found the error in the part, and we can go back to the original, and we can try to do that same process. So now just delete that new one that we created. Let's go back to the original, and then let's do that section analysis again. Let's click on that edge. Let's drag it back and delete that little half moon piece we saw. So let's go in there. Let's zoom in. Find that half moon. Delete it. And then let's get rid of that section analysis. And let's try stitching again. Alright, we got a few. And we can see our tolerations adjusted here to fix it. And click OK. And then we should have a body, a solid, after we've adjusted and removed that one little tricky piece. And we are good to go. We're ready to modify. Well, I really hope this helped everyone else out. I hope that we all keep coming back to this video every time we get stuck on it. Don't forget to leave a comment if you guys liked it, and have a great day.